Hello my dear gardeners, it is time to build extra support for my beautiful generous gardener rose. It is a massive climber, and after 10 years of growing it in my garden, this arch is not enough. I started training all the long shoots this way, and that little flimsy support which I was using it for the last 2 years is not enough. So today I am showing you how I build my custom support for this rose to fit well with the garden, and I'm going to show you how I actually am training these long canes, taking them from there and directing them that way. It's better to see it once than to read about it many times. Olga Carmody with you today, master gardener from Connecticut. I like to use treated wood in the garden in combination with natural wood. You know, natural wood blends so well with the environment, and I do like very comfortable, very natural looking garden. And then treated wood, make sure that construction which I built is not going to collapse in 2 years, and then I have to build it again. So what I do, like for example, look at my back arch. The strong pressure treated wood went into the soil, the contact with soil, right? And then on top I have all sorts of interesting play with wooden sticks. So I decided to go the same way with this project, with this very strong and massive rose. And I bought probably 8 or 7 planks of 2x2 pressure treated southern pine, I believe. It's widely available in any home improvement centers. And here, this area around my rose is very interesting because we have one tree here which we cut, apple tree. It wasn't producing any good apples, so we decided to get away with it. And then we have at the back of the rose, we have this very strong pine tree which is only going to become bigger and stronger. So potentially we are facing the situation where we have to raise the canopy even higher to fit the rose and accommodate the tree, right? But for now, I decided to use this space here to create something kind of whimsical, nice looking, and I didn't want to go 2D, you know, just 2D design. I wanted for it to kind of hug the tree, so I decided to go 3D. That's why I'm using bricks to make sure that my rose support is a little bit, has a little bend there. If you look at here at my arch there, you might say, I just built it several years ago, I believe 2 years ago, and it looks very aged. Well, because I'm using a special sealer, and I think it's a foundation paint. And it is very muddy color, I believe it's a gray sea color. So what I do, I don't want to wait for that treated wood to age, which the aging of treated wood is kind of slow. So what I do, I just put that sealer on my treated wood. Sometimes I even cover the regular wood with it for extra protection because it seals the wood and makes it waterproof. And it is aged in no time. My bird house at the back is not painted, so you see, it went into the garden, I believe, this year, and no signs of aging. Maybe I should paint that birdhouse too, to blend it well with the rest of the garden. I had 2 pots with 2 sedums growing in them. One was Autumn Joy and one is Autumn Fire. Well, this sedum flopped, so I decided instead of just trying to save it, raise it up, whatever, it is going into early hibernation. I probably will bring all the beautiful flowers, sedum flowers, into the house. And surprisingly, those flowers keep in the house very well. So I probably would be doing it, harvesting sedum and bringing into the house. Here is a shelf in my bathroom. It looks really well. My generous gardener is quite kind of old. It's an old plant. And of course, I understand that every plant has its lifespan, and at some point, maybe, who knows, generous gardener will start to decline. No sign of decline so far. Some gardeners say that their roses grow and bloom well in their gardens for 30 years and still going strong. So, generous gardener is treated organically here, so you can see a sign of age in the fall. Some leaves are getting old, so I'm going to just straighten it up, clean it up, for us to see branches better, and it's also good for the disease, not to interrupt the cycle of disease and throw all those leaves out. So that's what I'm going to do a nice cleanup here. And you know what, there is always plenty of stuff in the garden which needs to be thrown away. I don't like to do it. I compost all the leaves and all the waste, not leaves from my roses. They go straight into the trash. But I do love sticks, as you know. So here we are. I had to take several branches from the tree at the back, and I am going to repurpose all those gnarly branches to give my support a beautiful whimsical look and kind of blend it well with the environment. When I put it on, I realized that it's a little bit too big with all other features of this area here. So this looked very small in comparison with that arch. I decided to hide it a little bit. So for now, the branches from the pine will make it not as visually strong. Plus I'm going to train all the branches here on that support, and we will see it, but we won't see it as much, which I want. That's the results which I want to achieve here. To have a beautiful support, but rose should be the queen of the show, but not the support. Ta-da! Here it is, my rose support. I put it into the soil, probably a foot and a half or a foot, something like that. I think that would be enough. And generous gardener is not really thorny rose, but I do need my rose gloves. And look at this branch, how strong it is. Look how much of build-up it had in 2 years of it growing in my garden. So here's a nice tip for the beginner rosarians. If I were, which happened to me, I let this branch to go down, and if branch goes down, it's not going to produce any flowers for you on the climber. So when I train this beauty here, this thing is going to be trained up. All right, this is going to be some job here. Okay, let's do it. What I like to use, I like to use my elastic. I bought it from some old lady on Etsy many years ago, and I love this elastic because it blends so well in the garden. You don't see all these little things. You see plants, right? Which branches should I redirect, you might ask? Let's go look at the base of my rose and look at those beautiful, strong, 3 new strong canes my generous gardener created. 1, 2, and 3. And if you follow them, let's follow them around. Let's follow this one, this strong one. Look how tall and strong it goes. And of course, it is getting lost in the canopy of the tree, right? So these 3 canes, I'm going to redirect and position them, tie them up to my new support. What do you think? You know what? I don't know what to do with this big shoot. I probably will just cut him in spring and make it just a side shoot. This guy I will trim right now where my secateurs. You see how unruly it is? Okay. So that's another thing about those long canes. If you don't want the cane to be so long, you can just trim it. I probably went up trimming that side to make it kind of more of a homogeneous design here. And you know what? All this buildup will be trimmed during spring trimming, so it will be nice and kind of tight looking. The only thing I don't like, those pines together with my branches. They're going to rub against each other. So, what do you think? I'm taking those branches out, away with them. All right, let's do that. It does look better. You see, I tied that big shoot which was sticking out back into its spot, so you know it should look good. And of course, it's right now it looks messy, but in spring the real cleanup happens and all the long branches on climates look so good and pristine and clean. So this was the main job of this was, oh, I forgot that big tall fellow right there. I probably will bend it and put him that way. Is to make sure that long branches do not sway in the wind. It's not the major trimming on the climber. I like it. I like it. We are going to have the whole wall of generous gardener here. And if I keep on top of watering and feeding this rose, next year we will have the whole wall of blooms, right? I like the job. Feels good when the job is done because it was needed here. There were too many shoots this generous gardener produced. All right, that's it for today. I'm going to tie that big nice shoot and I'm going to water because we are having a really dry season right now. And some of my plants, especially arborvitaes, they do need a lot of watering going into the winter. My dear gardeners, have a lovely day and I will see you in my next video. Happy gardening!